Very good morning, my dear students. In the last video class, we had started the chapter of index number. In that, we had come across the definition of index numbers, why index numbers will be called as economic barometers, and in terms of types of index numbers, simple and composite index numbers. Furthermore, we had come across base year and current year concept, and then mainly the index numbers differentiation, in that sense the types of index numbers to be price index number, quantity index numbers, and value index numbers. That much we have come across in previous video class. Now in this class we shall concentrate on the extension of price, quantity, and value index numbers as price, quantity, and value relatives. Let's see first what will be price relative. Look at the cursor. This expression, what is being written as capital P is equal to P1 divided by P0 multiplied by 100. This itself will be called as price relative. Price relative and price index number, one another same. Here, instead of P can be written even P01 also. In the last class we have come across P and then as a subscript 01 if we write, what will it be interpreted? What was it? Capital P as a subscript 01 if we write, what will it interpret? Price index number in the current year as compared to base year. Fine. So now this P or P01 is equal to P1 divided by P0 multiplied by 100. What is P1? P is price. 1 means current year. Divided by, what is P? P means price. 0 means base year. Multiplied by 100. Here, this expression right hand side can be expressed in terms of wordings as this is price in current year expressed as the percentage of price in base year. The same has been given here as definition. Price relative is the price in the current year P1 expressed as the percentage of the price in the base year, which is P0. That is what I said you. This P1 is expressed in terms of percentage of this P0. That's why it is being called as price relative, since it is given in terms of P1 divided by P0. Like X divided by Y format, whenever we write, it is a relative form which is of price now here. That's why it is price relative. Once again, let me tell you how the definition goes. This P1 is expressed as percentage of this base year price. So that price relative is nothing but price in current year is expressed as the percentage of price in the base year will be called as price relative. Similarly, quantity and value relatives will be instead of P in terms of quantity relative, it will become Q. Instead of P1 and P0, you will be replacing them to be Q1 and Q0 multiplied by 100. In terms of value relatives, what it will go? V1 divided by V0 multiplied by 100. And from last video class we have already understood what is V1. V1 is nothing but P1 multiplied by Q1. What is V0? P0 multiplied by Q0. So let us see in the next slides what are quantity and value relatives. So from the previous slide you have understood how price relative is being defined. In the similar way, Q, capital Q or Q01, which is equal to Q1 divided by Q0 multiplied by 100. Here the definition of quantity relative goes in this way. Quantity in current year is expressed as the percentage of quantity in the base year. That's what has been written over here. Look at the cursor. Quantity relative is the quantity in the current year Q1, which is this thing, expressed as the percentage of, because it is multiplied by 100, continuously look at the cursor, which is expressed as the percentage of the quantity in the base year. Similar to price relative, how we have defined, this is there here as quantity relative. Next, value relative. As I have said, this is capital V or V01 is equal to V1 divided by V0 multiplied by 100. This V1 can be replaced as P1 multiplied by Q1. This you have already understood from the previous classes. V1 can be replaced by P1 multiplied by Q1. V0 can be replaced by P0 multiplied by Q0 multiplied by 100. Here also definition goes in this way. Like value relative is nothing but value of a commodity in the current year, that is V1. This is value of a commodity in current year, which is expressed as percentage of the value in the base year. The similar way of defining. All the three can be defined in the similar ways: price, quantity and value relatives. Some notations and terminologies which we have already come across, but we shall once understand thoroughly, so that in future whatever we come across in the chapter can be clearly understood. So these are the factors which we will be coming across in this chapter as price, quantity and value. Value is nothing but expenditure. Price is being written as small p. Quantity is being written as small q. As we know, expenditure or a value is nothing but this p multiplied by q. So p, q has been written here. This price, if it is in base year, what happens? This price, if it is in current year, what happens to the notations? So base period is nothing but we are denoting it to be 0. Current year is denoted by 1. Price in base year, look at the cursor, this price in base year, P and this 0, that's why P0 or P0 it is written. This 0 has to be written as subscript. P0 is nothing but price in base year. This P1 if we write, P is price, this 1 is current period. That's why P1 indicates price in current year. Then this is quantity Q. In base period it will become Q0. In current year this quantity becomes Q1. Value or expenditure is nothing but PQ. In base period, what it happens? This PQ will become P0, Q0. PQ as it is, as subscript 00 we write as the indication of base period. Then current period value will be obviously P1 multiplied by Q1. Very repeatedly, we will use all these notations throughout the chapter till the completion. So be very clear about these notations. Price and quantity usually you will be following very clearly. Remember, even value or expenditure will be P multiplied by Q. In base year it is P0 Q0. In current year it will become P1 Q1. Next we shall concentrate on methods of constructing index numbers. Two types of construction of index numbers takes place. One is simple or unweighted index numbers, and the second method of construction is weighted index numbers. This weighted or unweighted, what we have written, is quite similar to the concept which we had come across in first PUC as weighted arithmetic mean. Unweighted arithmetic mean was sum of x divided by n. If it is weighted arithmetic mean, what we had done, sum of wx divided by sum of w, I mean sum of weight. Why I am asking you to recall that concept is just to understand the meaning of weighted and unweighted. Once when unweighted is there, weights are not applicable, at that time it will be called as simple. Simple is nothing but weights are not applied. That's why simple or unweighted index numbers is the first type, and second type is weighted index numbers. Thoroughly we need to understand first what are the meaning of simple or unweighted and weighted index numbers. The index numbers constructed with items which have equal importance is called as simple index numbers. For example, if we are writing like the commodities to be brought per month, per week, however for a household, if you are enlisting those commodities, you may start writing like rice 1 kg, wheat 1 kg, the remaining 2-3 commodities, even if you write, even if it is being written just as 1 kg, 1 kg and 1 kg, no difference at all in the considerations. That means the same importance is being given to all those commodities as rice, wheat and other commodities whichever you have enlisted. The same importance is being given as 1 kg to be brought. Am I correct? So in that case, if index numbers are being constructed with items, whichever the items are being considered in the construction of index number, if they have equal importance, it will be called as simple index numbers. Index numbers definition already you have come across. The relative change in a item or group of items or group of related variables. Those group of related items or group of related variables is being considered here as items. The index numbers constructed with such items which are having equal importance. It will be called as simple or unweighted index numbers. Either it will be called as simple index number or it will be called as unweighted index numbers. Then what is meant by weighted index numbers? Instead of equal importance here, if we write relative importance, however, it is required to be given importance to those items. In preference, if you are giving different importance to different various items, then it will be called as weighted index numbers, just because different weights are being applied to different commodities. So how can it be defined, weighted index numbers? The index numbers constructed with items which have relative or varied importance is called as weighted index numbers. In problem solving, we will be coming across all these concepts where it can be learnt very effectively. Here, index numbers are broadly classified into first, unweighted and weighted index numbers. As we have already observed, first unweighted or simple index numbers, then weighted index numbers. Then in this unweighted, once again, simple aggregative index numbers, and here in this unweighted, once again, simple aggregative of relatives. Relatives is nothing but P1 divided by P0 format. Okay. And in weighted index numbers also, we will have the same bifurcation how we have seen in unweighted index numbers, as here it was unweighted or simple. That's why simple aggregative is written. Here it is weighted. That's why weighted aggregative is written. First bifurcation is both the sides. Look at the cursor. Both the sides it is aggregative itself. Aggregative index numbers. Aggregation in the sense summation. So aggregative index numbers, both the sides the bifurcation, first bifurcation. But here it is simple because it is unweighted. Here it is weighted aggregative because it is weighted index number. Then here also simple average of relatives it is there. Here this time, this side you will be getting weighted average of relatives. So here we are understanding what are unweighted and what are weighted index numbers. And after that, in unweighted, the types of index numbers are simple aggregative and simple average of relatives. In terms of weighted index numbers, weighted aggregative and weighted average of relatives. So this bifurcation of index numbers, what we are seeing in this particular slide now, this is very important in order to understand the remaining concepts of the chapter. Very much the problem solving part is based on this particular bifurcation. Many more formulas we will be coming across as weighted, unweighted, sometimes simple aggregative, sometimes weighted average of relatives. All those ways we will be coming across different concepts problem solving, so that try to understand this bifurcation very clearly. Once when we will come across formulae, this concept will be pretty much clear. But at least roughly you can once again concentrate on the bifurcation of the index numbers as unweighted and weighted. In that, once again, simple and simple average of relatives, weighted and weighted average of relatives. Once it is aggregative, once it is average of relatives. What exactly is meant by aggregative and what exactly is meant by average of relatives, we shall come across in the next video. Thank you so much.